Welcome back. Today we will look at some of the commands to manipulate elements on a page. The file upload dialog window command and the change file field command, as well as change radio button and clear text box command. The first two commands, change file field and file upload dialog window, are supposed to handle file upload dialogs. So there is a main difference between those two, because the ExBrowser change file field command will actually manipulate the file upload element and paste the data, which in this case is the URL to the file, into that element. So this change file field command only works if the file upload dialog is an HTML dialog as you see it here in this case, right? We look at the page source so you can see how that looks like. And it's an input type file, right? And then, yeah, with all the other stuff. This is the only scenario where this will work. If it's a button that executes some JavaScript or other stuff or whatever, this is not going to work, and you have to look at the second command, right? So, because if there's no HTML element, no file type input field, then yes, not much that can be changed there in terms of the file actually, right? So let's take a look how that works in the app. Now let's reload that page. So now it's empty. We have the change file field command here. We have the unique expat expression that identifies that one file, not file, element. And then we have the path to the local file. Execute that. And then the file is selected. You can click upload image and it will do whatever it's supposed to do, right? So, now, if that's not possible, if you cannot use the change file field command, you can use the file upload dialog window. So now, there are some important things you have to understand here. This one is using window automation. That means by window automation, it means it detects that pop-up box, right? That you see here coming up. The window file select box. This is not coming from the browser or anything or from the website. This is from your local PC. So we are using AutoIt functions here to automate that window, and it's identified by the name open that you see on top here, right? That's the title you can specify here. If your bot supports or has to support multiple languages of operating systems because you sell your bots, you have to manage this, because on different versions of Windows and on different languages, the name will be different. It will be open on English, it will be in French and Spanish and whatever on other languages. So you have to code that into your app. So either you let your user somehow specify that, or you extract from the operating system, from the registry or some environment variables, the type of Windows operating system and the language, and then you fill that window title box here with the correct title for every language you want to support. And that's something you have to test and figure out yourself, how that works and what languages you want to support and what are the different names. So this is important. The second important thing is this will not work with multi-threading or multiple instances of your bot on the same system because it's looking for that title. You will also run into problems if you try to run your bot in the background while you're still doing other stuff on your PC. I always tell everyone who's doing internet or browser automation, use a different machine for that, right? If you have a bot that does a lot of stuff, leave it alone. Don't, I don't know, play Counter-Strike or browse Amazon at the same time on the same PC. Yeah, in some cases, I mean, you can, but it will more often fail and give you trouble and you run into problems than it's helping, right? Install a virtual machine, buy an additional server in the cloud or whatever where you run your bots, but leave them alone and don't mess around with your PC while there's automation running in the background. So that being said, because we are looking for window titles here, open, if you run your bot 10 times in parallel with multi-threading, or you have 20, 50 browsers open doing the same stuff, and then maybe 3 have like a dialog open with open, and then stuff could be messed up. I mean, if it's always the same file, it could be still working, but there's no way to identify with that file upload dialog window which of the file upload dialog windows that command will catch, right? It could be the box that was the upload window that was created by that thread, but it could be very likely also be one of the other ones that were created by some other thread. So if the file you want to upload is somehow unique to that particular thread because you create accounts and you want an individual picture or a bio or whatever you do, stuff could get messed up. I mean, you could miss some of the boxes, then the boxes are open, the browser cannot continue because the file upload dialog was not filled. You could fill the wrong one with the wrong data, and so on. So a lot of stuff can be messed up because there's no way via Audoit to kindly, also in the way this is implemented, it's not possible to identify if that window belongs to this browser session or not. So that's the problem, right? I mean, I'm personally also not a very big fan of multi-threading. It's very tricky and complicated to write proper bots that are really reliable with multiple threads. You have to be kind of a good coder to do that with a lot of error handling and reporting and status checks. Most people don't do that, right? They just code straightforward bots and then add multi-threading. The bot never is state aware. It does not know where it is and what happens, and they not even check if elements they want to interact with are there or not. So all that basic stuff is very often not in place. And with multi-threading, it will give you a lot more trouble and pain than without multi-threading. So I personally try to stay away for that. I mean, Ubot Studio I use for prototypes and then simple projects, right? For serious stuff where I need good performance and reliability, I use I code normally in C# and Visual Studio, but that's a different story. So that being said, file upload dialog doesn't work with multi-threading, and check that you have the correct title here in terms of the language as well. So the last 2 commands we cover here in this tutorial video is change radio button. So this command is or will be removed very soon, because after investigating and checking all the source code for version 2, I pretty much figured out that this was, I don't know, a very old command. It's not really used for anything anymore. So yeah, because it's not changing radio button, it was actually just clicking on something, and unchecking and checking a radio button does not make any sense. That only makes sense for a checkbox, which we have in place as well, right? So change checkbox, that is still there and will be there, checked and unchecked, but for a radio button, I think this is pretty old stuff and was probably added by accident someday. So because there was not really anything in the code that was looking for checked or unchecked, the only thing that this thing was doing was clicking on the element that was selected here. So pretty much 100% the same behavior when you just use a regular click command, right? Just without that checked and unchecked thing. So no idea why that was in the code still. Yeah, I will remove that. I added a little message box in version 2 so that everyone who has it in the code can still use the code, but will get a message box that you have to change this because in the next I mean, it already is doing nothing, so it's not clicking anymore at all. It's just giving you that warning, so you know that you have that old stuff in your code somewhere and you need to change and remove that. Just for simplicity reasons, because I don't want to carry over any garbage that's not useful or not used, just because of, I don't know, for history or whatever. So clear text box, pretty simple. It will clear out a text box, like remove the text that is in a text box. So you can use that, or you can just use the type text in case you want to type, right? If you just want to clear it out, then you can use clear text box. If you want to type into the box and have to clear it first, you can also use ExBrowser type text 2, which has a clear element option, that's doing the same like the clear text box command as a standalone command. So it's yeah, your choice, whatever works for you. That's it for this tutorial. Thank you. Have a nice day.